Tonight, more vigils and marches to remember the victims of the attack in London, Ontario.
For me, this means one step closer to change.
From a multi-faith march in London to a vigil in Nathan Phillips Square tonight, people continue to come together to remember the 4 members of a Muslim family killed in what police allege was a hate-motivated attack. Plus,
it's been a long time coming, and we're hoping this is the last time we have to reopen.
Drinks on the patio, outdoor fitness classes, non-essential retail. A taste of normalcy as the province enters step 1 of reopening. And
this scene is traumatic in the sense that there were a lot of rounds fired.
Toronto police are pleading for witnesses after a man was killed and a woman injured in a double shooting in Scarborough. We'll have all the details.
We're all the same. We're all Canadians. We live in Canada. We have to support each other. No matter what, we're all human beings.
Everybody just wants to live, and everybody just wants to live in peace, and everybody just wants to live safely. And we just want to be able to go out for a walk. That's all.
I am here to support my London family. Canada will always be our safe home and land, and we are always together forever.
This is the scene in London, Ontario tonight, where a multi-faith march was held. Hundreds of people coming together to honor the Muslim family killed on Sunday in what police say was a hate-motivated attack. Salman Afzal, his wife Madiha Salman, their daughter Yumna, and his mother Talat were killed last Sunday evening when they were rammed by a pickup truck. Their son, 9-year-old Fayez, survived and is recovering in hospital. Tonight's multi-faith march to end hatred began at the intersection where the family was struck and ended at the London Muslim Mosque, where people observed a moment of silence. Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon, and that was not the only event taking place today to honor the Afzal family. A similar march against hate was held in Toronto's East End this afternoon, and tonight a vigil took place at Nathan Phillips Square. Our Jessica Ng was there.
Over 100 people have gathered for the vigil that you see behind me. There are candles and speeches, all to honor the 4 victims of the deadly attack in London. Their main message, that Canadians of all backgrounds and faiths are grieving with the Muslim community over the loss of 3 generations of a single family.
To be hunted down, for a lack of better words, for your own faith is very, very painful. And so being here today is very healing.
Making sure that we push back against racism, we push back against negativity.
Can you tell me how you felt when you heard about what happened in London?
Will we fight for a future for Fayez and
Numerous groups, including Christian Pakistanis, Chinese Canadians, and those from the Indigenous community, joined the vigil in solidarity to speak out against systemic racism.
What it means to Canadians, and should mean to Canadians, is a mirror up to our own racism, to our own Islamophobia.
And earlier today, a multicultural anti-hate march traveled along the Danforth and Toronto's East End. Nasima Akhtar helped organize it and works with the Bangladeshi Canadian Community Services. She says she's seen an increase in discrimination and violence against Muslims, even experiencing it herself when someone forcibly removed her hijab in downtown Toronto.
I remember that incident when I heard about this thing, and then every time I see the news, I just see their picture and I feel like crying.
Akhtar, like Saptel, hope all levels of government work towards developing policies that help decrease stigma and Islamophobia. Now, police haven't said much about the 20-year-old male that's been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. The funeral for the victims is set for tomorrow afternoon in London. Jessica Ng, CBC News, Toronto.
Halton police are investigating after a 14-year-old boy from Brampton drowned in the Credit River near Georgetown tonight. The police said it happened at around 5 o'clock near McNabb Park in Norval while the teen was swimming with friends. Witnesses report the teens were jumping off a bridge. When paramedics arrived, witnesses and friends were performing life-saving measures on the teen. He was rushed to hospital but died of his injuries. Police are reminding people to take precautions around the region's waterways. Well, the wait is over. The province took some small steps towards normalcy today. Most of Ontario entering step 1 of the reopening plan. And almost instantly, patio tables filled up. Lines formed outside retail stores, and the optimism that's been in short supply for months also returning. Ali Chiasson has more.
Patio people, today is your day.
Oh, it feels so good.
She took the day off just so she could do it.
I did.
Restaurants and bars have been setting up all week in anticipation. Hemingway's in Yorkville was ahead of schedule and started welcoming customers to their rooftop patio the minute they could. Seriously, this is 12:01 a.m. this morning.
It's been a long time coming, and we're hoping this is the last time we have to reopen.
It feels good to be out finally. Out in a sense, in a restaurant eating, not at a, cooped up in our cars and eating.
Today is a good day to be a customer, but hectic if you work in hospitality.
Getting used to carrying, 3-4 plates at a time, getting used to cooking 10, 12 dishes at a time.
It's been months since the last in-person service. Chef Ash McNeil says don't be surprised if people are a little rusty.
Everyone's just going to work out all the jitters hopefully tonight, and it'll be a great summer.
Chef's recommendation this week?
Be patient, tip well, ask your server how they're doing. There's been a lot of emotional, financial struggles. Just be aware that that's hit everyone in Ontario.
Of course, today isn't just about outdoor dining, it's also about indoor shopping. Non-essential stores have a 15% capacity limit.
Excited. I love shopping.
After the last year and a half, anyone could use a little retail therapy.
We feel like caged animals, honestly, so I'm excited to be here.
Today was a long time coming for smaller, local retailers especially.
There were times we thought we wouldn't be able to keep our doors open.
The Green Jar is a sustainable goods store. The way things were going was unsustainable.
The whole mission is for them to bring in their reusables and to come in and to fill up on what they need. So it's much easier to do that when it's in person.
Today isn't just about consumption, it's about connection. Take it from the folks at Power Yoga who can finally hold outdoor classes again.
Yeah, we had an online platform, but there's nothing like surrounding yourself with human beings, moving with them and breathing with them, so I'm just so very, very grateful.
It's been a while, it's been long, yeah.
It has been a long time, and we're not out of this yet, but it really does feel like we're closer than ever before. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
As the GTA begins to reopen, part of the TTC's Young Line is shutting down this weekend. On Saturday and Sunday, there will be no service on Line 1 between Finch and St. Clair stations as the result of construction and signal upgrades. Shuttle buses will run in place of the trains. Nick Sarnkovich joins us now with a first look at the forecast. And Nick, as expected, lots of people out on the patios today. Weather, for the most part, cooperating.
Yeah, absolutely, Kelda. Now, for the most part, we've got good weather in the forecast. I'm going to qualify that with there are a few showers throughout the weekend, but by and large, shouldn't affect your plans too much, or your outdoor plans too much. Now, what we've seen is just with this heat and a little bit of building humidity, some instability in the air. So we triggered off some showers this afternoon north of the GTA. We're going to see that sort of playing out over the next couple of days as well. You put the forecast board into motion here, and again, through tonight, we're looking at the risk for a few spotty showers. Tomorrow, generally a mix of sun and cloud to at times more in the way of cloud cover. However, through the afternoon, we may trigger off some afternoon showers, and then overnight tomorrow into Sunday morning, more in the way of rain showers. But that's going to be an overnight event, so shouldn't affect your outdoor plans. Tonight, again, the risk for a few spotty showers. Tomorrow, high of 25 degrees, and we'll talk more about these spotty showers coming up in just a little bit.
Thanks, Nick. It's going to be a busy weekend at Queen's Park, with the Ford government set to use the notwithstanding clause to pass a bill limiting pre-election spending. The legislature could be in session until Monday. Also expected on the agenda, another attempt to pass a motion condemning Islamophobia. Lorenda Redekop has the details.
The debate at Queen's Park on limiting third-party advertising is set to begin at 12:01 a.m. and last all night. But there's another issue that could come up.
That she be allowed to move a motion without notice, condemning an act of
violence and terrorism.
Yesterday, the Liberals called for unanimous consent to condemn Islamophobia.
Agreed? No. Heard a no.
The government denied it, saying it never agrees to motions without notice. This morning, the Liberal leader put out a statement calling the government's actions appalling, but that given the importance of the motion right now, we have come to an agreement with the PC caucus to pass it tonight. The PCs responded that the Liberal leader should apologize for lying to the people of Ontario and attempting to politicize Islamophobia to give his party a boost in the polls. It also said the government would have supported the motion yesterday had it known what MPP Mitzi Hunter was bringing forward. The weekend sitting was already controversial, the first time the notwithstanding clause is being invoked in Ontario. It allows a government to override certain sections of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
He wants to shut us up, and for the first time in Ontario's history, he will.
The government wants to limit spending on ads like these by third parties for a year before an election, double what existed before, overriding a judge's ruling.
We are going to do everything we can to fight back against this government's wrong-headed priority. But I have to say, anything that we have is a matter of holding the government up for hours, not days.
Yesterday, the NDP briefly delayed the vote for first reading of this bill.
This petition is entitled Stop Ford's Power Grab.
It reads as follows: Stop Ford's Power Grab.
A petition called Stop Ford's Power Grab.
Already, groups are considering their next moves.
Right now, we are exploring our legal options, what's available to us in regards to a legal challenge. But when the clause is invoked, we will be mobilizing our membership.
With the PC majority, this bill is expected to easily pass. Politicians will be here tomorrow and also Sunday, with final reading expected on Monday. Lorenda Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
A man is dead and a woman is in hospital after a double shooting in a residential area of Scarborough this morning. Toronto police say 27-year-old Kieran Brathwaite was pronounced dead at the scene. As Philip Lee Shannock reports, friends have started a GoFundMe page to help the family of the victim.
Kieran Brathwaite played basketball at the University of Windsor and appeared in several videos for a Toronto fashion designer he went to school with. Friends describe him as a wonderful uncle, brother, son, friend to everyone he met and to those around him, who leaves behind a sister, brothers, a nephew, and friends. A humble person who never bothered anyone, he was our gentle giant who always made sure we were all okay and smiling. Early this morning, police were called to a townhouse complex on Lawrence Avenue East, just east of Scarborough Golf Club Road, for the sound of multiple gunshots. They found two victims inside a black Mercedes sedan parked outside, riddled with bullets. Police say a woman in her 20s was rushed to a hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Brathwaite was pronounced dead at the scene. Shaken residents of the complex cleaned up the aftermath. This man would only give his name as Jason.
Just a lot of noise, really. I was inside. Really wasn't much. By the time I went outside, everything was done.
He says he knew it was gunfire.
That's not the first time I've heard it, so.
Some who live nearby say there has been violence in the area.
There's a shooting in my building, lobby, and it ended up in the stairwell, and then he got shot up there. He survived, though.
But this Ontario Crown attorney who lives nearby says violence is no longer just a problem for certain parts of the city.
You hear about shootings in every corner of the city, in some of the more posh neighborhoods and some of the more run-down neighborhoods. I think it's just endemic to the city these days.
This townhouse is near a busy intersection. There's a mall across the street, apartment buildings next door, businesses on the corner. Police are hoping someone saw something or at least has surveillance video.
Lawrence Avenue is a very busy area. Not so much at 1:16 in the morning, but it is very busy. So there should be lots of witnesses, hopefully some security camera that we can get as well.
Homicide detectives hope to speak with a woman recovering in hospital. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Brathwaite is the 25th person murdered this year. Philip Lee Shannock, CBC News, Toronto.
Their murders remain unsolved, but now new documents related to Barry and Honey Sherman have been unsealed. Trustees and beneficiaries of the slain billionaire couple fought to keep them private. What is in the documents and why they were made public, that's coming up next. A ruling today from Canada's top court regarding the estate of murdered billionaires Honey and Barry Sherman. The trustees and beneficiaries of that estate lost a bid to keep details of it private. As John Lancaster reports, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that the estate documents are part of the public court record and must be released.
The Toronto mansion where Honey and Barry Sherman were murdered in 2017 has long since been torn down, the property sold. Who killed them remains a mystery. But who stands to inherit the couple's billions will no longer be a secret. The couple's will or wills had been filed in Ontario court not long after they were killed. A judge originally sealed them, citing the family's privacy and safety concerns. Today, the Supreme Court of Canada ordered the files unsealed after a legal challenge by the Toronto Star.
The court spent a significant part of the judgment explaining how mere inconvenience, embarrassment, sensitivity to having personal details disclosed is not sufficient to rise to the level that trumps open courts.
It'll be several days, though, before the Sherman's estate is released. Barry Sherman was the founder of generic drug giant Apotex. Honey was a philanthropist who gave millions to charities. Today, their children released a statement. The 4 children of Barry and Honey Sherman are committed to honoring their parents' legacy. They are united in their grief over the death of their parents and in their support of the efforts of the Toronto Police Service to find the person or persons responsible for these terrible crimes. As for the murders, Toronto police tell me their investigation is active and ongoing, and having the court documents released publicly will only have a negligible effect for investigators. John Lancaster, CBC News, Toronto.
You're looking at a live shot of the Toronto skyline. Partly cloudy this evening, and the clouds will stick around into the overnight. Currently a comfortable 19 degrees downtown. Let's go back to Nick now for a look at your extended forecast. And Nick, patios will no doubt be packed this weekend. I think that's a pretty safe bet. And as you mentioned, a few showers, but that shouldn't affect people's plans too much.
No, we're not looking at sort of an overwhelming amount of rainfall or anything like that. What we're really dealing with here is your typical sort of seasonal afternoon showers, and that's all being driven largely by the heat and some humidity building back in. There's a look at afternoon temperatures. A couple things to note. The heat and the humidity mostly confined to southwestern Ontario. Seasonal temperatures, though, across the Toronto area, and we're starting to see a bit more in the way of humidity building in. Humidity being the fuel for some of these afternoon showers. So you put the board into motion. Tonight, we're still looking at some spotty showers throughout the overnight, a little bit of lingering cloud cover, and if you're up early enough, you might see them tomorrow in the Golden Horseshoe. Otherwise, a mix of sun and cloud, too, at times more in the way of cloud cover there. As we head through the afternoon, if we get some sunnier breaks, what we're looking at is just that daytime pop-up shower activity, and some of that through the evening might slide down across the GTA. If it does, likely closer to about 8 p.m. or so. Now, then it sort of clears out, and then Saturday night into Sunday, we've got overnight showers. Clears out by Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon. Once again, a little bit in the way of daytime convective activity. So that's really the story here, and it's isolated stuff. So we're not talking about widespread rain events. A lot of you likely won't even see it. Overnight tonight, 18 degrees down in southwestern Ontario, up to 16 in London. Again, with a few showers through the overnight. Tomorrow, I know this doesn't look great. It looks like rain showers and thunderstorms, but it's isolated, scattered thunderstorms in southwestern Ontario. So you may not even see it. Humidex, though, up to 37. And again, that's the fuel for some of these. A little bit less in the way of humidity across the Golden Horseshoe. There are temperatures tonight around 16, 17 degrees. And again, this icon, I mean, I only have the one icon for the whole night. It's spotty showers. Same story for tomorrow. The risk for evening or late afternoon isolated showers, or maybe even a thunderstorm in there for tomorrow. Long range forecast, that's kind of how it plays out for the next couple of days. A bit more in the way of building humidity into Sunday. Then things start to clear out. We also lose the humidity heading into next week. More seasonal temperatures, mix of sun and cloud, and staying in the 20s really right through until the end of next week at least. Kelda.
Thanks so much, Nick. Well, it's the biggest sporting event since COVID-19 brought the world to a halt. The opening match of soccer's European Championship kicked off in Rome today. Here in Toronto, in places like Little Italy, the timing couldn't be better, as fans were able to gather on patios to cheer on their team. Our Greg Ross was there for all the excitement.
The Diplomatico, spot to be. What can you do?
Many Italian fans arrived early, hoping to get a table on Cafe Diplomatico's patio.
11 a.m. I came here looking for a jersey and to scope the situation out.
This man managed to get a table for him and his girlfriend. Many others who didn't have reservations were turned away, which is pretty much the way it's always been when Italy is playing a big game.
Everything seems to be normal. We're working hard. Busting a sweat. 10 more minutes.
Owner Rocco Mastrangelo was so busy, he barely had time to think about the game.
Italy's got a chance to redeem themselves starting today. I believe they're going to go all the way to the finals.
Those lucky enough to get a table here were able to watch on the big screen. The TVs were a lot smaller across the street at Tav's Bar, but there were plenty to go around, including one in the open.
Yeah, TV on the sidewalk, yeah. I don't know if it's legal or not, but we have it out.
Forza Italia, baby, woo!
This man scored a front row seat at that screen and wasn't taking kindly to passerbys stopping in front for a glimpse of the game.
I'm going to say, ma che cavolo fai? I'm going to ask them to get out of the way.
For the past 15 months, we've been forced to watch sports differently. For most, it was alone or in small groups of immediate family. For many of these soccer fans, it was a reminder of how it's supposed to be.
Nothing compares to being out, enjoying it, you know, with a lot of people, the noises from across the street, you know, it's great.
And they had plenty to cheer about. Italy beat Turkey 3-0 in Game 1 of the Euro Cup.
Italia! Italia! Italia!
Cafe Diplomatico is already taking reservations for tomorrow's games. Italy won't play again until Wednesday when they face Switzerland. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
And that is our show for you tonight and for the week. Thank you so much for watching. Maribel Tarouk has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6. Have a great weekend, everyone.